Mario Chalmers and Tim Hardaway give their opinion if the Miami Heat should trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Should the Miami Heat still keep this dream alive, or should they just get away from Giannis and continue to build with this youth movement roster? All that and more in another episode of Miami Heat Talk. Let's go.
That is enough said.
Happy Wednesday, Heat Nation. Your boy Ernest here. Back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday so far. Living your best positive life. Don't forget to show support by hitting that like button and clicking the subscribe button as well. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. Now, please join me as we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Because in today's episode, you guys, I want to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the reason why, guys, is because two former Miami Heat legends have given their opinions on Giannis. Now, before we get to today's episode, you guys, I understand what this episode is going to cause. I know you clicked on the thumbnail seeing Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Miami Heat jersey, and I know some people, it's going to cause frustration. You're going to get in the comments, you're going to troll, you're going to get mad, and that's cool. But I want to make it known right now. In no way is this video me implying that Giannis is coming to Miami, nor is it something where I'm saying this is going to happen. I've been talking about the possibility of Giannis coming to the Miami Heat for a few months now, and I'm waiting on this, you guys, because I think it's definitely a possibility. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you guys, and the Milwaukee Bucks have come to this standstill. They've been bounced out of the first round in the playoffs for the last 3 years. Damian Lillard, who ruptured his Achilles, will not play in the 2026 season. He was waived and stretched, which means Milwaukee is going to have to pay him $22.6 million per season for the next 5 years. And that salary is coming off their salary cap every year. So it's going to be difficult for Milwaukee to rebuild around Giannis. Now, yes, they signed Miles Turner with the release of Damian Lillard in order to free the salary cap. They just signed Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother to stay on the team. But if you ask me, all of these are just desperate attempts to keep Giannis on the team. Just because Milwaukee brings back his brother doesn't mean it's a guarantee that Giannis is going to stay. They're doing this to try to appease him to stay. But at the end of the day, you guys, I'm sure Giannis is looking at the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks' situation, and he's seeing, maybe it's run out. Maybe it's time for me to look somewhere else. Now, there were reports before the offseason that Giannis was possibly looking to go somewhere else. Now, it's stalled lately, but the trade deadline isn't until February. There's a possibility where Giannis starts the season with Milwaukee. Maybe it doesn't go good and he requests a trade. Or maybe Milwaukee does great and all this is BS. Doesn't matter. Right now, it's speculation. And that's why we're going to talk about it. Because Tim Hardaway and Mario Chalmers gave their opinion about this. And I want to read you guys some of these quotes. We're going to talk about it. The first is Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway was asked if the Miami Heat should be trading for Giannis. And this is what Hardaway said. First, they asked him what the Miami Heat have to do. And he stated, try to make the playoffs. Try not to be in the play-in games. Try to make the playoffs. First of all, let's be healthy. Hero, Bam, Wiggins, everybody on the team. Let's be as healthy as we can all season long. And if they're healthy, a lot of teams are scared of them. That I truly believe. I love this Miami Heat youth movement roster, you guys. I've said it multiple times, and I really want to see where this current team goes. But I have also said, if there's a possibility that you can swing for the fences and get Giannis, go for it. And that's what Tim Hardaway mentioned next. He said, they have some pieces. I think they are looking for another piece. You always want to go young. You always want to look for that young guy, for that young superstar, that one piece that comes and helps you out. Giannis is going to go where Giannis wants to go. Is that Miami? I don't know. They don't know. Giannis would go where he wants to go. End quote. So, right there, you guys, I mean, Tim Hardaway is giving his opinion on that, and he's basically stating that if he becomes available, the Heat should go after him. But the Miami Heat shouldn't just be waiting and sitting for Giannis. What they have, in my opinion, is enough. Then after that, Brandon Scoopy Robinson, a very credible reporter, had an interview with Mario Chalmers. And he asked Mario if he would like to see Giannis in a Miami Heat jersey. And Mario Chalmers replied, I don't know. I just don't see Giannis fitting. I don't want to say Heat culture, but just the Heat team. You have to put a lot of shooters around him on that team, which I think is doable, but I just don't see him going. End quote. Then he said that Giannis's best fit would be the Toronto Raptors. Now, obviously, you guys, there's no question if the Heat should go after Giannis Antetokounmpo if he becomes available. That's an obvious. But we need to think about this in a different way. Because if you're trading for Giannis, what is your team going to look like afterwards? And you are building a current roster after this Jimmy Butler era where you have young players and you also have younger players that you are developing. This Miami Heat team in the next 2 years could be really scary, especially after this season, because let's say Terry Rozier and Andrew Wiggins get off your books. Now you're not only going to have a nice, young, deep roster, but you're also going to have cap flexibility, not only to potentially sign a free agent, and I'm not talking about a whale, I'm talking about players that can just help you, high-quality role players. You'll have your full mid-level exception. You'll have flexibility in the 2026 offseason to make this team better. But Giannis, who is one of the best players in the NBA, MVP caliber player, if he becomes available, the Heat should definitely make an offer. Now, I've talked about Kevin Durant before, you guys, and I was a fan of the Miami Heat potentially trading for Kevin Durant, just not having to give up the whole farm. I mention that all the time. But giving Kevin Durant a contract extension would have kind of put you in a hole. So I'm actually glad the Heat weren't able to make that deal. Trading for Norman Powell was the right move. You only gave up Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson to make that happen. It was an excellent move. But what people are not thinking about is that Norman Powell trade gave the Miami Heat an absurd amount of flexibility to make another trade. Why? The whole rumors this offseason, you guys, if you're trading for Giannis, you have to give either Bam or Tyler. And if you did that, putting Bam with either putting Giannis with either Tyler or just Bam on this Heat team would not have made them quality contenders. But with the Norman Powell trade, now you have the flexibility of adding Tyler Hero or even Norman Powell in a potential Giannis trade. Let me explain. Giannis Antetokounmpo, guys, has 3 years left in his contract, the third year being a player option. So there's 2 quality years left. He's making $54 million this upcoming season. So the Miami Heat, in order to trade for Giannis, they're going to have to give Milwaukee a few things. Expiring contracts, like Andrew Wiggins or Terry Rozier, young assets like Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Pallel Larson. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them. And the Miami Heat do have 3 tradable first-round draft picks, which Milwaukee needs draft capital because they traded all of it in recent deals. So they're stuck for the next few years when it comes to draft capital. So they're in this hole. And to get out of the hole, trading Giannis might benefit them wisely. Now, they signed Miles Turner because they want to keep Giannis and they still want to go all in. So this isn't really Milwaukee trading Giannis and getting rid of him. This is Giannis preferring if he wants to stay or leave. Now, what the Miami Heat can do in a potential trade, you can surround, and your main package being Tyler Hero or Norman Powell. Tyler makes the most sense. He's from Milwaukee. He's 25 years old. He's an all-star level player. And he just fits what Milwaukee is trying to do if they trade Giannis. Building around a guy who's from Milwaukee, you're going to sell a lot of jerseys, and he can be the focal point on a young roster moving forward. Then you can add an expiring contract. Most likely it would be Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins would probably be the most likely one out. Or maybe it's Terry Rozier. Doubt that. But you can do a package with Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, throw in Nikola Jovic, and add some of those first-round draft picks. Maybe 2 to 3, maybe 2 first-round draft picks with a pick swap. But is that too much? Because now you'd be putting Giannis on the team with Bam, Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell. Maybe you can keep Khalil Ware, maybe not. Maybe you have to add Khalil Ware in that trade. So there's going to be a lot of factors. Now, if the Heat do make a trade for Giannis, I think it's big if the Heat try to keep Bam. Because if you have Bam and Giannis on the same team, the Heat are going to be one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, hands down. And if you leave Norman Powell on this team, well, you're giving Giannis what Mario Chalmers said he needed, shooters. Now Norman Powell can be that strong number 3 option or number 2 option next to Giannis. You'll have an offensive focal point with Giannis, Bam, and Norman Powell. And then it's depending on what you keep after that. Jaime Jaquez can start as your small forward. You have Simone Fontecchio. You have Pallel Larson, Keyshawn Johnson. They can take those next steps. Davion Mitchell will be your starting point guard. I think a starting lineup of Bam Adebayo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jaime Jaquez, Norman Powell, and Davion Mitchell, that's a very strong starting lineup. I think that starting lineup works. Now, making a trade like this, it would have been nice if we kept Haywood Highsmith. But if you look at this Miami Heat roster, this youth movement roster, you guys, and I love what we have. And that's what I'm trying to say in conclusion, you guys. Do I think the Heat have to trade for Giannis? No. But should the Heat entertain the idea of trading Giannis? Absolutely. But then when you trade for Giannis, what are you going to have left? Does it make sense? Is it worth it? For Giannis, yes. Yes, you guys. I'll be honest. If Milwaukee is willing to accept Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, one of these young assets like Jovic or Khalil Ware, and multiple first-round draft picks, great. Now, if Milwaukee wants Tyler, Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, all 3 future first-round draft picks, that's where I'm saying no. As much as I love Giannis, as much as I think Giannis would make this team better, you're not going to have much afterwards. And there's also other teams that are most likely going to make a better offer than you can, like San Antonio, Houston. There's a lot of teams that have a lot better assets than Miami have. So maybe Miami should just stop this, focus on this youth movement team, build around Tyler and Bam, try to make a trade before the February trade deadline to upgrade this roster and make it better, not for a whale, but for a quality role player. And then in the 2026 offseason, you will have cap flexibility to make a trade or to sign a free agent, and we'll have our full mid-level exception. But Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your guys' opinion is about trading for Giannis. Do you think it's worth it? Or do you think the Heat should just stop fooling themselves and continue to build with this roster? This episode was not about me telling you guys it's going to happen. No, I really want to hear from you guys. Do you agree with Mario Chalmers and Tim Hardaway? Do you think that Giannis is the right piece for this Miami Heat team? I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like the video, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.